Hi, welcome to On Blast. This is Justin.
This is Jamie.
Today, well, first of all, let's address the fact that we haven't uploaded anything in forever. Not like we have a following, but let's pretend we do. So we haven't uploaded anything because I got a job and I worked a shit ton of hours and then I got fired from corporate. So that's a good story. I fucking hated the job. It was terrible. I had to walk around outside all day. Hated it. So we just hadn't had time. And then also we're lazy and we get distracted. So
yeah,
that's that.
Basically.
What have you been doing since
same thing. I mean
working a shitty job and getting fired?
Not the getting fired part. But I did get a new job, and honestly it's kind of the opposite. It hasn't been a lot of hours. But it's been a job that I've really enjoyed. That's what's so frustrating, is not getting enough hours.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of living it day by day and just enjoying the nagging mother to get out of the house. So, you know.
Your mommy's out of town, so that's good.
Yeah, that is good. And then when she's in town and I miss her ass, she gets nagging again. And then I want her
she's
to
gonna
leave.
Listen to this, so you might want to be careful.
She knows how I feel. She knows what she does. She knows she knows that she's about 50% of my depression. So
damn, bitch, that's a lot of depression.
Yeah. But she's like 50% of the reason why I haven't decided to just pull the plug. So,
Jamie,
I love her. I love her too much. That's why I deal with her.
So, we're going to be talking about James Charles today because literally everybody has YouTube feed. Literally, okay, people that I watch on YouTube that aren't really drama people, they just talk about, like, topical things or, like, whatever, haven't talked about James Charles. So I guess we have to. Just because it makes the most sense right now, because everybody that's talking about it is getting major clout, and we want clout, so that's what matters.
If we can get about 5 views of clout, that's all that matters.
So, in case you weren't aware, this is a very long story. I'm gonna go ahead and lay out the cards. Jamie will probably pitch in when I'm forgetting because I'm retarded. So, essentially what happened was, it started off with James supporting, what's that? Sugar Bear hair, and Tati being upset about it, which, okay, anyways, let's just get the story. Which Tati being upset about it because James and Tati are friends and whatever, and then James, like, apologized over, like, a text thing. Tati made a video crying like a baby, but anyways, and then Gabriel Iglesias, is that his last name? What's it? Gabriel Zamora. Okay, I'm sorry. Gabriel Iglesias is a comedian. Whoops.
I mean, this shit is pretty funny, but he wasn't involved in it.
And talking about how, they're crying over vitamins, which, I mean, I don't see it like that, but,
And to give people, in case you guys have been living under a rock, but what makes the situation even worse is that James had lied to Tati about how it was actually an ad. So that was another big part of it, because it said #ad on the whole thing, and he got paid to do it at Coachella weekend. So that's the biggest thing too. Not only did he betray her, but he also lied to her. So just in case people realize that there's a lot of little things. Basically, you know what you're saying, but all these little things is what making this whole situation.
Yeah, it's getting
worse.
really, really, really big and, like, piling up. And then Tati came out with, like, a 40-minute video talking shit about James, and talking about how he's kind of predatory towards straight boys. And that's kind of where shit's been going down. Oh, and then Jeffree Star released a tweet that's been deleted now about how he's banned from the house. Which I'm like, fuck.
Jeffree Star had talked about how Jeffree Star didn't go into depth with it, but he had mentioned that something had happened with Nate.
Yeah.
And basically, because of what had happened, he didn't go into depth. That's the reason why James Charles isn't allowed at Jeffree Star's place.
So let's start all the way at the beginning. How did you feel when, like, it first started with just the vitamin drama? When, like, Tati was just crying over the vitamins. What do you think about that situation?
I'm a big fan of Gabriel, actually. I've I appreciate James Charles because he brings something to the table, and you don't have to, but you tend to like the fact that he's doing so well.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of the other people that haven't done as much as him, like Brent and Gabriel. And Gabriel made a comment that. Yes, I think that Tati did good. It shouldn't have never recorded a video of her crying about it. I think that James is either one, money hungry, or maybe two, he wasn't thinking. I think a lot of people need to realize that James Charles he's actually a year younger than me and 2 years younger than you.
Yeah.
So, he's not the smartest guy in the world, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense. This is just a mistake. And no matter what it is, whether it was money hungry, whether he was actually promoting this because he was feeling anxiety and it makes him feel better, or whatever his purpose was, it's not really that big of a deal. But Tati made it with that video, now that we're talking about the video, I think she was kind of defending herself, because I think she realized that a lot of people only saw that, James Charles made a mistake, and he kind of betrayed her trust, and they're friends, and she's really sad and upset, and needs, to vent about it, and is crying about it. And then Gabriel puts on the table of how he feels, basically saying that, she's basically being a crybaby, and she shouldn't be crying about it. I think that's why this video was so important, because this actually shows all this shit that we never even knew, that makes us go, okay, now that we know where Tati's coming from, maybe I probably would have cried too. So it's we needed this video to fill it in.
So how I feel about James just promoting Sugar Bear Hair to begin with. So Tati has her own vitamin brand for her skincare and hair, I think, called Halo Beauty. They're just vitamins. And Tati and James had a conversation about him possibly, shouting out Halo Beauty on his channel or whatever. I don't know the exact details. And James had said, no, it would be inappropriate because most of my viewers are children. Which is yes, James, that is smart. You don't want to promote, these vitamin care things to kids because they can't make the cognitive decision that, yes, this is okay for my body. That's something their parents would have to do. So yeah, good on you. And then he goes and promotes the Sugar Bear Hair, which isn't just a hair vitamin. He promoted a sleep aid, which is you're promoting a sleep aid to children. I'm not saying that children don't need sleep aids, but don't promote a sleep aid to a child, especially if it's Sugar Bear Hair. It sounds like a fucking candy. Then, that's kind of the promotion thing, is that they're little gummy bears. It's you can't promote that to, if you're saying you're not going to promote Halo Beauty, which is just little capsules, they look like medicine, and then be I'll promote this medicine that looks like candy to my child audience, is that's hella fucked up in my opinion. So that's something that really bothered me.
Yeah.
And then I understand why Tati felt so upset, because the beauty community is brutal. It's really, really brutal. It's hard to make real friends. And it's like that for YouTube in general. Plenty of YouTubers get burnt by other YouTubers all the time. And so I understand why she felt so upset by that, because Sugar Bear Hair is a main competitor for her brand Halo Beauty. So I understand why she was upset. I never thought before she made that video, it was I understand why you're upset, but James apologized and things will be okay. I didn't see it as a big thing until Tati made that video.
Yeah, I think that it's weird because, now we're kind of going to this next segment. I'm 50-50 with this. 50% of me thinks that I'm glad that she made this video, and I'm glad everything that she said in that video, if she felt that she needed to say it for whatever reason, it fit. It fit so well because it created this narrative of James Charles, and it created this narrative so much that now his subs are down.
Yeah, insanely
a
down.
lot. He's close to I think he's lost about 2 million?
He
2.5 million?
He lost more subscribers than Tana Mojo did after iDubbbz content.
He lost more subscribers than Jake Paul did for the Suicide Forest.
Jake Paul gained subscribers after that.
No, he lost 80,000. I mean, he gained a little, and he lost a lot.
Oh.
But he still lost about 80,000.
Yeah. So he lost, a crazy amount of subscribers.
I mean, this just puts you into perspective. This is so ridiculous and so crazy that a man that makes a bad judgment call like Jake Paul about someone's suicide is not in the deep as somebody who unfortunately has his sexuality in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
And, and that's what I'm talking about. The other 50% is that I don't really think that Tati maybe should have mentioned that. Like, I'm not, like, I'm glad
about,
that she...
like, the boys?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's explain the boys real quick before we get into it.
Right.
Because we haven't really laid out... I mean, everybody should know, but let's be professional.
But in case you don't, yeah.
So, Tati, in the video, talked about how James was kind of predatory towards straight boys. And how he uses his influence to try to get straight boys to be with him. And there was a birthday party where they went to a restaurant, and there was this boy that James thought was attractive, and Tati was like, he's straight, and he said, that doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity. Which is, like, fucking disgusting. Like, what's wrong with you? That's, like, some shit that, what's his face? From the Me Too movement. What was his name? The guy that... he was like a producer.
Oh, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, that's some Harvey Weinstein shit. Okay,
right.
I'm sorry, that's fucked. But
it is fucked. And we'll talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, that's one of the examples. Yeah. And there's another example, and this was actually talked about a little bit during and just maybe a little bit after the whole Sugar Bear thing, is the whole Coachella thing, where there was a boy that was actually sent out. Oh my God. Sam is the waiter that we're talking about, but this guy, his name is Gage.
Yeah, it's Gage.
And he met up with Gage and flew him out, and they were hanging out in Coachella. And this is a whole lot of mess. But basically, from James Charles' side, is that he was told that Gage was bi-curious, and he brought him over to Coachella, and they were hanging out. They have pictures of them hanging out. They have pictures of them making out. There was even a little bit of a rumor, which nobody can confirm, that somebody was given head.
Right.
So there was a lot of things going on. And basically after Coachella, this guy kind of was like, you know what, I'm not interested. And that kind of set James off in a Twitter frenzy and made Gage respond. So not only do we have that as an example, but now we have the Sam guy. There's a little bit of a difference, though. Sam and Gage both came out with a video about what had happened in their point of view. Gage is basically counter to James, saying that he did feel pressured. He did feel like James Charles was upset at him because he decided that he wasn't bi-curious. But Sam was a little bit different. Sam kind of did confirm that at one point he did say that he was bi-curious. He'd actually ended up going to James Charles' hotel
making out for like
and
an
DM'd
hour.
him.
Yeah.
He DM'd James Charles. So there's a lot of things. I think that so far we could probably agree that there is something fishy about Gage, maybe.
Yeah.
That's not really clear, and maybe James Charles should talk about that. But I feel so bad for Sam, because Sam just wanted to have fun and realized that it wasn't for him, and now he's being dragged into this drama.
Situation, yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about, kind of circling back to Tati, like, Tati has now opened up a big can of worms. And I think it's the right can of worms.
Right.
She's fishing for the right kind of bait. But, she is older. And she is a grown-ass woman. And he's technically a grown-ass man, but not really. He acts like a boy. And I think that she needs to realize that, James has a lot of growing up to do. And, he's not taking responsibility of the things that he should be. And I think that's why it's important that she's shedding light on what's going on with her, why is she feeling this way, and what James is doing wrong. Because these are serious, allegations. But at the same time, there's some issues where Sam has come out. He's gave his piece. So I honestly feel that's a check mark. That's a conversation that we probably shouldn't even be talking about as far as them, because if he felt like he was attracted to James for a moment, that's his own business. Right. Another thing is that there's a problem with a lot of people coming out with different stories about James being a predator with younger boys, but all this stuff is hearsay. It's nothing's confirmed. We've even had, we were actually just talking about this before the podcast. Gabriel, if you guys are friends with Gabriel Zamora on Snapchat, he did a long rant about basically his point of view. And he plays kind of like the counter for a lot of people right now, of basically saying that, James isn't really showing predatory behavior. And if anything, James is stuck in a lot of situations that just make him look like the bad guy. And I think that mainly Gabriel was defending himself because Tati had mentioned him, saying that Tati and James Charles and Gabriel were all in their kitchen talking about, basically, I believe it was Sam that came over, and they were talking about the whole situation with either Sam,
the waiter. It was the waiter.
So it just, it's almost like I wish we could take both of everybody's information and just mash it, because it's so fishy. It's so...
Yeah. Well, here's how I feel. Coming from a trans guy that's bisexual, that's interested in both men and women, it's uncomfortable, the infatuation James has for straight men. Let me put it into perspective. So, when I was younger, before I came out as a trans man, I was obviously part of the, lesbian community, because I'm primarily interested in women. So, it was really gross and creepy to me when straight men would fetishize lesbian women together. It's creepy, it's gross, it's inappropriate, you shouldn't be doing that. You're putting somebody's entire personhood as their sexuality, and that's not okay. And it's the same thing that James is doing to straight men, and it's creepy, it's gross. I don't know if predatory is the right word, but I'm sure James is using his social status to influence these people to, if somebody says, I'm gonna fly you to Coachella and pay for your Coachella ticket, I don't care if I'm into you or not. Fuck, I'm going to Coachella. Jesus Christ. Obviously. So it's just, my opinion on it is just that, James needs to grow up and stop trying to DM people that say they're straight. Right. If somebody says, I'm bi-curious and I'm interested, that's fine, go talk to them. But don't put them on blast when they're no, never mind, this isn't something that I'm interested in. Because that's what he did with one guy that he met at Coachella. He went on a Twitter ranting about this boy and all that kind of stuff. It's that's your personal life. Mm-hmm. That's between you and him and nobody else. I understand you're a public figure, but he's not. If it's if Kim Kardashian and Kanye broke up, it's different because their relationship is in the public eye. James and that one boy's relationship was not in the public eye. You should not be doing that. That's inappropriate. And I understand he's young, but he's still a grown-ass man. When I was a fucking 19-year-old, I wouldn't have fucking done shit like that.
Yeah. It's more of it should be less of an excuse now that you are young, because you need to watch out even more. Right. But something that I think that was really cool that you said, that's a great example, is basically a lot of men, if you ask a lot of men, do they think it's attractive if two girls kiss? They'd go, yeah. But then they wouldn't go, but we're not going to force them to do it. Yeah. We're not going to be overly I want this to happen, this needs to happen, and it's kind of
but some guys do that. I mean, I've been in situations where
that's so uncomfortable.
It's creepy because there's been times where I was in high school and I was standing with my girlfriend holding her hand, and some jock was oh, are you guys together? And I was yeah, we are, because I was pretty openly gay when I was in high school, and they were kiss. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And it
Right.
feels like the same thing coming from James being like, oh, you're a straight guy? You want to kiss me? You want to suck my dick or whatever? It's like, that's creepy.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I think that's the feeling. And there is some guys, and it's not abnormal, and I don't want people that are gay to feel this way.
Yeah.
And I've even felt this way too, but it's a little bit different for me. But yeah, sometimes you do have crush on straight guys.
Yeah.
But I hate that we have to call it a straight gay thing. You have a crush on a guy, and if he's straight, damn it. And it's a funny thing. It's like, I'm always crushing on straight guys because my luck with finding a gay guy is hard. But James Charles doesn't really say it that way, and that's what makes his side look so
Yeah, it makes
bad.
it seem like he's looking for a straight man. Like, this is like
the turn.
This video he did a long time ago, like I think almost last year, with Shane Dawson and Rylan Adams. They went over to his apartment, and they were each of them were doing like a different makeup look on each side of his face, and they were talking about like how, you know, James is always single, and like Shane was like, why?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you know, I just like creep in like straight guys DMs, and like Shane's like, you're a young attractive guy, like why are you trying to get with like straight guys? You need to look for people that actually are interested in you, because like if you're gonna fucking like, I'm not gonna go to like a lesbian and be like, hey, how you doing? Like, no, I'm a trans guy. They're not gonna be into that. They want a woman, you know what I mean? It's just,
and even if you do go up to somebody like that, right,
and
like, if they're okay, the thing is, it like, we know our lines and we know what's right and what's wrong. The reason why this is so muggy, this is so foggy, this has no clarity, is because every time that we talk about this and every situation, whether we're talking about these two guys, because that's basically all we know is Gage and Sam, they both did consent, and they both gave him information that they were bi-curious. So but there's no physical evidence that he did force them.
Well, I'm not saying that he forced them, but I feel like maybe not for Sam, but definitely for Gage, he felt
like Gage was there.
Maybe
to
not
have
maybe
a good
like
time.
Starstruck. Maybe, you know, because like when you see a famous person, you want to be in that famous person's circle.
Yeah,
you know,
he had mentioned that,
and so like I feel like that's why I don't think it's really okay to begin with, because when you're already like a public figure, it's already really hard to date in general, because like people don't want to date fans. Like that's like, it's not a, you know, it's kind of a power dynamic. That's why it's not okay for like a lot of different types of relationships. If the power dynamic is not equal, then somebody is has a risk of being used by the other. And that's what it seems like is happening between Gage and James. It seems like he was using his fame and status over Gage to try to convince him to do more than maybe what he wanted to.
Right. Basically, you know, what I would encourage people is I would really encourage people to not really call James a predator, because I don't think that he's done anything that is predatory. I think he is doing things that are manipulative. I think he's using his status in order to gain, I don't know what he wants. If he wants a companion, I mean, he's talked about like, Sam had mentioned that he was leaving the hotel room, and it was funny because Kingstar did this whole review video and basically was like, this guy Sam went over his house and made out with him for an hour and then said, no, I'm gonna leave, and you know what, I think I'm straight. Kingstar was like, if you're making out with somebody for an hour, maybe you need to think about really what your sexuality is. You know?
I think that's so like, okay, so when I was younger, coming from somebody that was extremely confused about their sexuality for a very, very long time. When I was younger, I thought that I didn't really like men at all, because when I was with a man and he did manly things to me, it made me feel like a girl. And I didn't like that feeling. I didn't realize at the time that's what it was, but I didn't like that feeling. So I was like, oh, I just don't like guys that much.
Right.
And I majorly prefer women, but in all reality, it was something else going on. So I think that saying that you made out with a guy for an hour doesn't make you gay. It means you were experimenting. Your actions are not what determine your identity. Your identity is what determines your identity. What you say you are is what you are. If you're gay and you say you're gay, then you're gay. If you're straight and you say you're straight, then you're straight. It doesn't matter if you... Because, like, think of it like this. Like, plenty of straight college girls are making out with other women, but they're not fucking lesbians. They're just college girls making out with women.
Right.
So... I don't think that it's a fair accusation to say that maybe you need to think about your sexuality, because maybe obviously he was thinking about his sexuality. That's why he went and met up with James and made out with him for an hour, because he was trying to see if he liked it.
Right.
You know, and
no, I understand that. I'm just saying, as an example of what King Star is bringing to the table, it's just another file of, let's not call this predatorial.
Yeah.
Let's call this that we have 3 young men who are making 3 dumb decisions.
Yeah. I don't think it's predatory at all. I just think it's
hate
inappropriate.
that James Charles is going down for, like, everything, because I sympathize with him. I see these tweets, I see these comments, these DMs that are Snapchatted, or not Snapchatted, but screenshotted, and I look at, and it sounds like James is angry because he can't find the right person. And I want to look at him, and I wish I could tell him, like, you're not going to find the right person fighting for someone who can either be starstruck because of you or feel maybe a little bit of pressure because of the status that you are. If you're walking around acting like you're some big top dog, and now you're upset because you're making somebody feel like you're the big top dog and they can't say no.
Right.
That's where we reach this kind of predatorial thing.
Yeah. I feel like what James wants is what Jeffree Star has. And the difference between what James and Jeffree has is that Jeffree Star was friends with Nate before they became an item. Jeffree didn't go searching out Nate to be necessarily a boyfriend at first. You know, while Jeffree is out here trying to manipulate straight guys to be like, you want to, or excuse me, James is out here trying to manipulate straight guys to be like, you want to be with me. And if somebody says no, and then you be like, but please, like, you need it, like,
but please, or you made out with me, or you like, and it's just, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the main problem.
That's what makes it look predatory.
Honestly, you know what's another theory, and I like to play devil's advocate, and I'm not playing it because I agree with it. I'm playing it because they're interesting points. I don't really care for PewDiePie.
Yeah.
I just don't watch him.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with him or anything.
Yeah.
I just don't watch him that much. But he did come out with a video about James Charles, and he made something. He said 2 things. One thing is argumentable. The second thing is understandable. The first thing he talked about is he feels like it may have been inappropriate for Tati to kind of include her product in with this whole conversation like it was an ad, because you're talking about something that's really personal to you, and at the end she talks about her business. It's kind of like, oh, okay, well, I mean, yeah, of course we'll support your business because we feel bad for you. I feel like she shouldn't have.
I feel like
really
maybe the reason why she brought it up was because it's kind of where it all started.
It is where it all. That's what I'm saying. Like, people will feel bad for her because of this whole thing. So I think, you know, I don't have anything against it. I don't really care, but I understand him saying, like, I kind of feel like that was inappropriate because you're talking about all this personal stuff, and then at the end, and I'm not talking about she's explaining her business, she's actually advertising her business at the end. So a lot of people were like, oh, okay, I mean, we'll check out your shit, but, I mean, you didn't have to advertise it at the end.
Here's how I feel about that, and this is kind of like a sticky situation.
Yeah.
So, YouTube is a very different platform than regular, like, TV media. So if you're watching a TV show, and, like, or, like, for instance, like, during, like, the news, and, like, a major event is happening, like a school shooting or something like that, they're constantly cutting to ads, advertising for things. Now, do I think that's appropriate? No. But I think this is kind of sort of, like, along the same lines of what Tati, what you're saying Tati did, because she's just, she's putting an ad in an inappropriate place. And I don't necessarily think that's, like, the worst thing ever.
No, I don't think it's the worst thing ever.
So, like, I'm not saying that you do. I'm just saying...
it's kind of almost like, you know...
Like, was that appropriate? Maybe not. But is it really, like, an issue?
No, it's not.
Not that big of an issue. If she was, like, putting an ad before talking about, like... For instance, like, I don't know if you watch Phil DeFranco, but Phil DeFranco, when he talks about, like, incidences, like, of massacre and stuff like that, when he talks about those things, he does not monetize his videos because it's inappropriate. But it's just drama. Yeah. So I think it's okay for her to put an ad on drama.
I mean, yeah, I think it's okay too. I think, you know, what PewDiePie is being dramatic, and I think that he's talking about, like, as an example of, let's say, you know, a person is upset because somebody talks about animal cruelty the wrong way, and let's say that they have some type of campaign for animal cruelty, and that other person doesn't support their campaign and does something else, and they talk about how hurt they are, and they talk about how this person's like this, and when it comes to the business world, and when it comes to the personal world, and at the end they say, but you could save and do 19 cents a day, and it's just kind of like, I get this. Yeah, I guess this is a good plug-in for that, but it is a little bit like, we're talking about you. Like, we get what you do.
But that example, it works. It's just like, that's more of a situation where you can manipulate an audience more because it's like animals. Because, like, when I look at it, I'm like, people like animals more than they like people.
I mean, yeah. That's so the dramatic more like,
version. Yeah, that's much more like manipulative.
I'm showing you what he's saying.
Yeah.
Not that I agree with it, but what he's saying is that was a little bit weird. And her video from the last time I checked, it's probably more, but from this morning was 33 million views.
Yeah.
And a Shane Dawson series was like 32 million views.
Yeah.
So that's like fucking mind blowing, you know. But another thing that I was mentioning that, you know, again, this part for PewDiePie I was saying was crazy. This next part, which is something that I kind of agree with. I actually lost my train of thought. Hold on for a second.
Okay.
PewDiePie mentioned James Charles. I know. I had like this whole run, and then it totally just went out of my head.
Oh, damn shit, girl.
It'll come back again. I'm pretty sure Gabriel Zamora talked about how he was supporting PewDiePie, because PewDiePie was not only showing the counter of how he felt, but PewDiePie was also talking about basically everything that's going on. It's kind of like we still have some pieces that are missing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely have pieces that are missing.
Everybody just has their own thing to say. We had a lot of people unfollow him.
Yeah.
A lot of famous people. We had Zara Larsson. She's a musician.
Yeah.
She is in a relationship with her boyfriend, who apparently got DMs from James Charles. Yeah. We even had people like Katy Perry, Shawn Mendes, the Dolan twins, the Dolan brothers, Emma Chamberlain all unfollow him, Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, of course. It just kind of feels like Kingstar made a comment about this, and at first I thought he was being dramatic, but now I'm like, maybe he's not. I think this could be kind of a career ender.
Yeah, I think it definitely could be.
This is a lot of shit to clean up. And you know what? It really isn't. If you really break it down, and if James Charles did this the right way, which he already fucked up with that shitty-ass apology video.
Oh my god.
3 hours. Like, not even that. Like, literally... Okay. He literally made an apology video right after Tati's video came out, and he was 2 hours late from a meeting in Melbourne that people were paying $500 a ticket, which is already a problem. That's another problem about this whole situation. They're paying $500 to meet this guy. He can't fucking sing, so now he's singing for everybody. I'm paying $500 to see fucking Beyonce. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying $500 to see James Charles.
Damn, you know, James Charles, when it comes to his singing, something that really, really, really bothers me is that, like, as somebody that really loves to sing, I'm not saying I'm a professional singer or anything, but I just love to sing.
You have an appreciation for it.
His voice has so much potential. I'm like, why don't you get a vocal coach? Just get a vocal coach. You will fix some of your problems real quick and fast, and then your voice is gonna sound like a fucking angel. Because he has moments where he sounds really fucking good, and then there's other moments where he sounds like fucking garbage. I'm like, please get a vocal coach. But the sad part is
he only sounds good when it's going through a studio.
True.
Everything that's live is like, oh my god. Like, I used to think I'm the shit, and I'm not the shit at all. I've had bad moments a lot. I have good moments, but I have bad moments too. It's just I think it's kind of how it is when you don't train your voice and you don't sing a lot and you just go out on a whim. And for him, just watching all his live footage, and then you see the whole $500 a ticket, it's just like, that's a slap in the face, and you're 2 hours late.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to put a really shitty apology video.
He should have just, like, and the thing is like, he got on the video and he was like, hey guys, I, like, just woke up or whatever. I'm like, really? You're not even gonna, like, try to plan out your points, or, like, you know what I mean? Because, like, when I fuck up majorly, which I don't do very often, but when I do fuck up majorly, I don't just go to the person and be like, oh, I'm sorry, and then walk away. Yeah. Like, I'm like, I am so sorry for this, and this. Yeah. Really explain
especially
why.
When you have that time, you know.
Explain why I went wrong, why I did what I did, how it wasn't okay, and then what I can do to fix it.
The best apology video.
He just says sorry and expects everybody to be okay with it. Like, he needs to do something to fix it.
Well, I know he definitely, as far as the Sugar Bear thing, he's already overly apologized about that.
Yeah.
That was, we got some new shit now, you know what I mean? So, for him to be like, I am so sorry, Tati, like, Tati does not forgive you. Like, what, do you hear her? She literally anything bad she knows about you, I really feel like she's already said it. So it's like,
well,
I mean, she probably is holding in some things, but the things that have been brought to the attention about James, that's what he should be focusing on.
Something that I really, 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 really wish Tati had expanded on. She was talking about how, like, she had a conversation with James or something. Something had happened. Something had happened, and she said it was, like, so disgusting that she didn't even, like, want to talk about it. Like, she said, like, the things that were said in those kitchen, I will never be able to unhear, or something like that. And I'm like, what was said?
Well, Gabriel talked about it. Talked about it on the Snap. He was talking about, basically, they were all three in the kitchen. And basically, he was explaining the DMs that he got. And he was overexcited about meeting this guy. So it was almost like, I mean, we could connect the dots, but let's say, for example, you and I and your wife are in the kitchen, and I just got a conversation from this guy, and he's really cute, he's really attractive, and we want to meet up. I'm inappropriate. I'm a freak inside. And I'd be like, man, I can't wait to see this guy. It's been a long time. I can't wait to get it on. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, we had already connected the dots. But Gabriel was basically saying that this guy, everything was mutual. There was nothing, predatory here. That's why Gabriel was like, she needs to tell the whole truth, because she's talking about how I was in the kitchen with him and how I should be supporting her about him being predatory, and really there was nothing in the kitchen at that time that was showing that he was predatory. He was receiving messages back from this guy that he wanted to meet, that he was interested, that he was bi-curious, and James was excited because he wasn't expecting to get a DM from him. They literally left, James gave his number. This guy could have never even texted him back, but he did. He DM'd him, and, et cetera, et cetera. So, honestly, even if James said some inappropriate things in the kitchen, which I can see that happening.
Right.
I don't think there was absolutely anything wrong. Yes, it's inappropriate. Yes, I think, honestly, it would be inappropriate to flirt with somebody at somebody's birthday party.
Yeah. That's not your day. That's not your day.
Yeah, I mean, I might say something. I might look at you and be like, don't you think that guy is cute? But you know me, I wouldn't be the type
to make a big deal out of it.
Right, to make a big deal.
He made it noticeable
Yeah.
that he was dating him. And
Apparently,
that's where it's uncomfortable.
If he
it's
made
like,
it so noticeable that Tati had to feel uncomfortable,
yeah,
that's that's not okay.
Yeah, that's not okay.
That's what I agree on.
You're in a public setting, like, okay,
Yeah.
so I have a bad reputation for saying shit I shouldn't say in public a little bit too loud.
What?
Jamie knows this.
Right,
Anyways,
sarcastic.
but it's like, if you're talking about somebody who is in the area within earshot and you say something that could possibly be considered inappropriate at a loud volume, and you're making it obvious, not only is that rude to the people that are there with you because you're making a scene, but that's rude to the person that you're talking about. Like, it's just an uncomfortable thing to go through. Because, like, I've been in situations like that where, like, somebody says something way too loud. I mean, typically I was the one that said it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you apologize, you make things better. You don't just, like, keep doing the same shit you're doing.
I think that James needs to call Gabriel Zamora and get some guidance about how to make a good apology video. Because the best one I've seen in the beauty community has been Gabriel's.
Yeah.
Because his was literally, he broke down every little thing. He filled in everything that we had questions about. He apologized to Jeffree Star. I don't know if him and Jeffree are still cool, but I know that they're not cool.
Yeah, they were, because he was, when Jeffree released his Magic Star Concealer, he was, like, in the video with them.
Right.
So they were cool for a second, but I don't know about now.
Right, with this whole, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know, because it depends on how grown up you're going to be, because I'm of the opinion where I can have friends that don't like all of my friends, and I'm okay with that. But if my friends aren't okay with that, that's their problem. You know what I mean? So I think it depends on how grown up they're going to be about it, but...
Yeah. Kind of like that, you know, the end of the thing is that there's still a lot that we have to kind of learn with everything.
Yeah.
Something that you said that I kind of agree with is some of it is getting a little bit tiring because I'm kind of tired of hearing his name.
Yeah.
But then there are certain informations that come up and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, you know, just something that I learned today was, you know, I already knew that he had that ticket issue where things were high, but I had no idea that he was 2 hours late and that he sung like, well, I kind of knew that he wasn't the greatest voice sometimes, but I didn't know that he was singing on this tour to people and it sounds horrible. So that was something I learned this morning.
Like, I'm gonna be honest here. What the fuck do YouTubers go on tour for anyways?
Yeah.
It's
I
like
mean,
all of his videos are either him like doing his makeup in front of a crowd of people, which I'm like cringe. Deep down inside, that just makes me cringe so hard. I'm like, ugh, why are you doing this? This is weird. It's not like a YouTube event where like there's a bunch of YouTubers and like you're going to see talks between, you know, different YouTubers and essentially in a similar format as like a podcast, just them sitting around chit chatting and stuff like that. And that's like what I see when people talk about going on tour. That's essentially what they're doing. Yeah, and it's weird.
I know Jeffree Star does this too, where usually when they say they're going on tour is either to open up a new store, to celebrate the opening of a new store. Jeffree Star is really close to Lipstick Nick, and they do a lot of tutorials together. They actually team up with Ulta and Morphe, and even just by themselves, and do classes to show people how to apply makeup. And I think that they do that in a smart, educational, grown-ass way.
Yeah.
And then James Charles is just like, going on tour, buy my merch. I'm like, how about you explain what the fuck you're doing? Because you have this long list of what your guests get once they get there. But I actually went on his site when he first was talking about his tickets, and I was just kind of like, other than we get to see you and take pictures with you and get to sit to see you, what are you kind of contributing?
Other than a fucking meet and greet, which you could go to fucking VidCon to do.
Yeah, so I agree 100% with you. I think that either most of the time when YouTubers say that they do have to go out, it's just for a quick podcast, a quick setting where they're talking, they're joking around, like the Vlog Squad when they go on tour.
Yeah.
They actually sit down on the couch with a mic in their hand and just kind of have their own podcast moment. Or if you're doing it like Jeffree Star does, or a lot of other, cosmetic companies, or beauty gurus in those companies, they promote their products.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get the beauty community, to be completely honest. Like, just as somebody that...
It's fucking cutthroat. Like, what happened? Like, I don't remember, like, growing up with this shit. Like, this feels...
Yeah, it's
so
definitely
recent.
new. This is not... This is a recent development. This is not something that we grew up with. Because, like, as somebody, like, I have an interest in makeup, but I obviously don't wear makeup myself.
Yeah.
I don't... When you're sitting here and watching, like, a video, like, so... I occasionally would watch a James Charles video. I watch Jeffree Star videos. There's like one other YouTuber, I can't remember his name right now, that I also watch. And like they're just doing their fucking makeup. How much drama can come from just doing makeup? Like I just don't get it. It's like why is this such a cesspool? Like honestly, like out of all the communities, the community that has the most drama on YouTube is the beauty community. Like, look at something like, I don't know, the gaming community. The only scandals they've had, like, the gaming community has been around significantly longer than the beauty community. And has significantly less scandals.
Yeah, we could argue that the gaming community probably has been as long as YouTube's been around.
Yeah, essentially, because Let's Plays came along pretty soon.
Yep.
You know, I really remember, like, 2009, I was sitting there watching a Let's Play video for, like, I don't fucking know what game it was, but just some random Let's Play video.
Yeah.
Like, in 2009, when I was in middle school, you know, watching these videos. So they've been around for a really fucking long time, significantly longer than the beauty community. Because when you look back at, like, old, like, growing up, the only, like, makeup tutorials I saw online were either for FX makeup or like emo and scene makeup, because that's just the generation I grew up in.
Tutorials on the container, like how to do a smoky eye. I would see like number 1, number 2, number 3, with the different shades, and I'd just be like, how the fuck did they do this? Like, you know. But I do have to show my appreciation for the beauty community, because honestly, without watching some of those videos, I wouldn't have learned my own style. So I don't think that some of them are negative. I think Tati's a good role model. Yeah. I think that I love Jeffree Star. Some people might not like him, but I love Jeffree Star.
You know who I really like that's technically a part of the beauty community but never does anything beauty related?
Huh.
Simply Nailogical. She's technically part of the beauty community because she like does like nail related stuff, and sometimes she does like makeup related stuff.
She's Canadian, right?
Yeah, she's a Canadian girl. Super funny, super great. She's a great role model for girls.
She's super cute.
Yeah, she's like
bubbly.
If you want, if you don't watch her for her fucking makeup tutorials, because she's not very good at doing her own makeup. Yeah. Her nail polish tutorials are pretty lit. She doesn't do them anymore though, but she's just really funny overall. And
there's a lot of great role models, and I just wish that they were like, you know, brought. Like somebody made a comment about oh my god, what's his last name? Brent. He's a friend with Nikita Dragon. He went to like Coachella with her. Brent.
I don't even know who Nikita Dragon is really. Like I know who she is, but I don't know who she is.
Oh, okay.
So I have no idea who this Brent kid is.
Brent. Oh my god, it's gonna kill me. But anyways, Brent. He is, of course, it doesn't really matter on the sexual orientation, but he is gay as well, and he's a great role model for a lot of people who want to get into makeup and maybe who are male or female. He's Filipino. He talks about his pride being Filipino. He has a lot of great contributions, and he's the type of guy who took his money that he was earning and ended up buying his parents a big home.
Yeah.
He just, I don't know, it kind of irks me. I think that James Charles is just a very small ant, and I wish that he was told that how small of an ant he is.
Yeah, his ego is insane. So, James Charles' ego is crazy. Yeah. Which, I mean, young people becoming celebrities always end up giving them big egos.
Yeah.
If you're, like, not 30 and you become a celebrity, your ego is going to be inflated. It's just the reality of the situation. But you needed to have somebody there that cares about you to fucking smack you in the face, be like, bitch, you're still just a person. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what Tati was trying to do. And then, like, it wasn't working and she just got fed up. You know?
There was one last thing I just wanted to mention, that, now that we're talking about James Charles, so the Met Gala was recently, and the theme was camp, and basically camp being, there's a lot of different definitions for camp, but basically one of the main definitions is kind of having fun with fashion, not taking it too seriously, being overly creative, and being, you know, fabulous, so to say. And James Charles went to the Met Gala. He wore something that really wasn't camp. A lot of people had a problem with what he was wearing. And he wasn't the only person that was invited to the Met Gala that was an influencer, so to speak. Actually, Eliza Koshy was at the Met Gala, but she was hosting with Vogue.
Yeah.
So she was not only there for her job, but she was there also to represent her style. And he came out with a statement about how he was so happy that the YouTube decided to go ahead and invite him to the Met Gala. And he said something that kind of pissed off a couple people. Or pissed off a lot of people, so to speak. And he basically said, and I wish that he rephrased this because I understood what he was talking about, but he didn't say it the way that he meant. Mm-hmm. He said something along the lines of basically, thank you so much for inviting me over to the Met Gala. I'm so excited that I get to represent, you know, the influencers that don't have an opportunity, you know, to showcase that they belong there or deserve to be there. And people are saying that, you know, James, you're literally one of the top influencers. You're making all this money. Like,
yeah,
you're not like some type of minority that you need to fight for representation.
Yeah.
And I think that what he was just trying to say, that he's honored that he can kind of lead the way for more people that are influencers to be a part of an organization like this, and he didn't say it that way at all.
So I just looked up what he was wearing at the Met Gala.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he was wearing safety pins for his shirt. Like,
yeah,
that's what
kinda.
it looks like. It looks like safety pins. I don't understand.
Yeah. It wasn't really... It looks like something you would wear at Coachella or something. It wasn't anything camp.
Like, when I think camp, I think tie-dye t-shirts and bandanas, so I don't understand.
Oh, no, that's not camp. That's not the kind of camp that they're...
I don't understand what camp is.
It's like basically it's like avant-garde. It's exactly like avant-garde, but avant-garde has usually like an artistic purpose, and camp is just about expression. So that's basically the difference between avant-garde and camp.
Okay. Because when I think camp, I think of, like, going in to roast some marshmallows over the campfire.
That's what people thought it was about. Not like a campfire.
Yeah.
It was camp, like, the fashion term. Like a difference, like, avant-garde would be to wear, like, a plastic bag. Like, oh my gosh, that's avant-garde.
Yeah.
And camp would be to wear a plastic bag, the color of black with the red tip to look like a hefty bag. So one's just you're wearing a bag, and the other one has a little bit more of creativity.
Okay.
And that's basically the difference. So when they saw that, they were like, this isn't crazy. This isn't really camp. This just looks like you're out at Coachella.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah.
We're kind of running up on time. So
Yeah.
let's bring it close to this. Basically, the point is, don't be a creep. Don't fetishize somebody's sexuality because that's gross. And yeah, that's about it.
Yep. And if you're trying to listen to all the James Charles drama, just put your phone down, go outside for like a couple hours, because I'm pretty sure when you come back, there'll be some more shit for you to read. All right, guys.
Bye.